Hello friends, tonight we're going to take a look at the Ferro Concept Slickster plate carrier. You've seen this thing all over Instagram. Every other YouTube channel on earth reviewed it forever and a half ago, but what the hell, I want to review it, so we're going to. Also, I'm sorry it doesn't quite all fit in frame here. And because plate carriers come with a lot of social baggage, we're going to talk about some related social issues in brief. The Slickster is so named because it doesn't have a ton of shit on it. It's slick. Unlike some of the other plate carriers you see. Things in general seem to be trending more towards lightweight gear, or at the very least, folks are coming to understand that lightweight and simple gear can be advantageous. For many years, there has been a prejudice in the gun community towards lightweight stuff. If you mention that you like for your AR-15s to be as light as possible, a large percentage of our community pops up and says, "You need to be going to the goddamn gym. I've used a 13-pound AR-15 for years with a heavy barrel, 3 PEC 15s, and a suppressor made out of tungsten mounted to the front. I've never had any problems." That sort of thinking, my dear friends, is very, very dumb. To dismiss an advantage without any logic is just unintelligent. To deny an advancement for someone else simply because you have in the past used something else is the very fabric from which morons are woven. By that logic, we should build our homes from mud bricks and wear fucking powdered wigs while we hunt mastodons with sharp sticks. These are the same folks who will dismiss compensators and brakes because 9mm and 5.56 don't have much recoil anyway, or who don't understand why a blowback 9mm with more recoil than a 5.56 removes the advantage of that weaker round. I'll tell you up front, the Slickster, it ain't for y'all. It's not for you fucking people. If you find yourself in this camp, please head over to eBay where you can easily purchase a Molly chest rig that holds, I don't know, fucking 15 magazines out front and makes you tip over whenever you bend down to Velcro your orthopedic shoes. The Slickster is a modern plate carrier with modern modularity and modern lightweight construction. This carrier can be so slick and minimalistic that it carries nothing but plates, and that's kind of how we have it outfitted at the moment, with the exception of our clips on the front. And in this configuration, without the clips, of course, it could almost even be somewhat concealed, maybe under a bigger button-down shirt or perhaps a jacket. Or this carrier could be a lightweight plate carrier for someone in the military or law enforcement with all the necessary accoutrements added to the front of it or the back. A note about perspective. I'm a civilian. I'm not a very important policeman doing what is undoubtedly very important policeman stuff. And I'm certainly not in the military serving my country like a badass. Instead, I'm a civilian who enjoys wearing this plate carrier to the range and doing fun stuff with my rifle. So keep that perspective in mind. I'll do my best to share what someone in those other fields maybe would want to do with one of these carriers, but you'll have to ask a very important police person or someone in the military how they might use the carrier, because I could only speculate. So I have my Slickster set up the way a civilian might for the range or for defensive purposes. I usually have a Spiritus Microfight attached here on the front with Velcro. It works really, really well. And so really, I'm only carrying the essentials, a few magazines, a few tools I like to have at the range, and medical stuff. But you can arrange one of these in 1,000 different ways. The other thing that I'm often asked, and perhaps you are too, is why should I buy a plate carrier? First, you don't have to buy one. Don't let anybody tell you that you aren't a good gun owner if you don't have one. That's bullshit. But at the same time, don't let anyone tell you that you shouldn't have one either. The argument that civilians don't need these, it's not a very good argument. This is a protective item. It shields you from being hit with bullets. It is your right to protect your important bits from harm if you so choose. You don't need to give a reason why you want that protection to anyone. You don't have to justify that. But why might you want one? Plate carriers offer protection from ballistic threats. This one can be donned relatively quickly for a plate carrier. Perhaps maybe you fear an armed home invasion. Maybe you're a very important person with a reason to fear for your safety. Maybe you're afraid of a dangerous civil disturbance. Riots happen all the time across the world. Or maybe you simply like to look cool at the range while you learn some new skills. All those are valid reasons to own a plate carrier, but remember, you don't owe an explanation to anyone. And also remember that a plate carrier is a defensive tool. You don't even have to set it up with any ammo on it. It can simply be 2 fitted bags holding armor plates if that's what you need for this to do. Choosing a plate carrier can be overwhelming. So I've chosen to recommend the Slickster alongside some other things. So if you're looking for a carrier, if you ask me what should I get, this is one of the ones that I'll recommend. Why? Well, it's easy to use and relatively inexpensive. It also seems to be comfortable to most people who try it on. It's very well made, and you can attach a ton of cool accessories or none to it, whatever your preference. I'll tell you up front that there are multiple other options that are just as good. Absolutely just as good across a range of price points. Some others that I really like are the Crye JPC 2.0, and specifically the 2.0, though the 1 is excellent. The Spiritus LV119, both of those are awesome, but they cost a little bit more. I have to tell you, I personally find the Crye JPC 2.0 to be slightly more comfortable, but that's purely personal preference. I just find that I wear that one a little bit more often, but I know lots of people who say that the Slickster is more comfortable. So all three of those carriers, the JPC2, the Spiritus LV119, and the Slickster, they're all of equal quality, and you're getting a great product as far as I'm concerned. And look, not that my opinion counts for shit, and it really shouldn't, but still, when I do recommend something, I want to make sure that it's great and reasonably priced. This certainly fits the bill. Features. The Slickster comes from Ferro with a front bag, rear bag, and this excellent elastic cummerbund here. The carrier is available in a few colors: multicam, coyote, gray, black, green. Obviously, I chose green. I don't know why the hell I told you what color it is. You're looking at the goddamn thing. The Slickster comes in 2 sizes, each corresponding to a plate size, not the size of your body. It is the size of the plate. Medium fits 10 by 12 plates. That's what this is. This is a medium. While the large fits plates that are 10.75 by 12.75 inches. This setup is cut for sappy-sized plates, and those with a more extreme cut, like the swimmer's cut plates, those will work in here too. I have plates that are a sort of sappy style cut installed. By the way, sappy plates are the issued stuff. When folks talk about sappy plates, they're usually referring to plates that are a similar size or cut. The Slickster, when it's empty, weighs only 14 ounces. Plates enter the bag underneath. Unvelcro this flap. Pull the bags open. Put your plates inside the bags and close the flap behind them. It doesn't seem like it would be secure that way, but it's very strong. It works well. The padding between you and the plates is excellent for a carrier this light. While some carriers have more padding, this is completely sufficient, especially if you buy multi-curve plates, and some carriers have a lot less padding. My beloved JPC 2.0 has notably less between you and the plates. By the way, do not buy flat plates. They fucking suck. And really, single curve could be better. Get the multi-curve if you possibly can. And just a reminder, these are the Tactical Scorpion Gear Level 3 Plus Extreme plates. Very silly name, very, very good plates. These are my favorite inexpensive plates, and TSG has offered all of you a very generous 15% off coupon for any of their plates. But you really want these in multi-curve. These are the ones to get, the Level 3 Plus Extreme. The coupon is The Gun Penguin, all lowercase, no spaces. I'll have that up on the screen for you. And if you get bored, check out my review of these plates in the description. They really are an outstanding deal. I like them a lot. You can size the carrier by adjusting the shoulder straps. They're held in place by Velcro inside the plate bags. And it is Velcro that holds this whole system together. It's very impressive. That's how it manages to be so light. The elastic cummerbund affixes to the front and rear plate bags via Velcro. When you put the Slickster on, pull one side of the cummerbund around you until it's tight and Velcro it to the front plate bag. Do the same thing with the other side of the cummerbund and you're all strapped in. The cummerbund has these little pockets on either side that hold magazines or whatever else you might need to carry. While not the most comfortable solution, it is the lightest and simplest for sure, but I find that things that are in those little elastic bits kind of dig into my side. I'm not the biggest fan of carrying anything substantial that way. These laser cut loops on either side of the front plate bag hold these plastic hooks from which you suspend your chest rig. The back of the chest rig then Velcros onto the plate carrier, and you have a simple and easy to remove setup. When you want to put on the carrier, lift up your chest rig, in my case a Spiritus Microfight, then you're going to close the cummerbund behind the chest rig and then drop that chest rig back down on top of the cummerbund Velcro. It's really easy as pie, as we say around here in South Carolina. If you want to expand the Slickster, Ferro has all kinds of cool shit, like other cummerbunds, a Molly cut rear bags that you can put up pack or whatever you want on the back. And they're releasing new, more tactical versions of the carrier that are decked out with all kinds of great stuff. But if you're going to get all that, in my opinion, the Crye JPC 2.0 is probably a better deal. We'll save that for another video, but it'll save you some money. But the sky is really the limit with the Slickster. You can configure it any way you want. It's pretty amazing. And as you use it, you'll kind of figure out what you need and adapt accordingly. How is the Slickster performed? This is a great plate carrier. It's a joy to use. When I first bought the Slickster, I wasn't sure about the heavy use of Velcro. It's fucking Velcro, right? But my spirit is microphytes. They're held together with Velcro, and those things are very, very awesome. By the way, I'm in love with the microphyte. It's an amazing piece of equipment. You should definitely look at these. If you don't already own one, God, just give it a whirl. When you first start putting your Slickster together, you'll notice how easy and fast it is to get everything where you want it. After years of dealing with weaving nylon straps in and out of molly loops like goddamn Rumpelstiltskin, this is just a pleasure. You size the shoulder straps roughly, you put the plates in, check the sizing, and you have a working plate carrier set up that fast. Installing the chest rig might be even easier. You install these polymer hooks on the Slickster, and you put whatever chest rig you want to use that day. Clip the clips together and Velcro the chest rig over the cummerbund's Velcro, and you're done. And if you have two setups that you want to use with the Slickster, I don't know, maybe one for 9mm PCCs and the other for 5.56 rifles, I can just swap them out in under a minute. Let's look at that process. So you're going to lift up the chest rig that you're removing by the bottom to pull the Velcro apart, and then you're going to unclip the old chest rig. Clip in the new chest rig and then drop it down onto the Velcro, affixing it in place. And now you've got the new setup. I have an issue with my left arm that causes me to experience severe pain when certain parts of my shoulder and neck are pressed. The Slickster absolutely presses on those areas, but not really more than any other carrier. Once I adjusted to it and sought the opinions of a few experienced friends, they agreed this is one of the most comfortable options at any price. But I did have to adjust to it. If you don't have an arm problem, this thing's going to be perfect. For me, I do still enjoy the JPC 2.0 a little bit more for that reason, but that's not the fault of the Slickster. That's my stupid arm. Still, I have to tell you about it all the same. It's very easy to size this carrier correctly. This is critical. Too low and the plates aren't going to protect your important bits, the bits you like, and they also won't fit the contour of your body correctly, and it'll suck to wear the damn thing. Also, the plates might bounce around, increasing fatigue and creating hot spots. The plate bags have just the right amount of padding. Other carriers have more padding, but this adds weight and bulk. The Ferro is just right. It keeps the plates off of you just enough so that your body can breathe, letting your sweat do what it's supposed to do. I'm very impressed with how secure the Velcro is. My microphytes are really connected by the Velcro on the back of the dangly pouch, and it's plenty to hold it together. That's all there is. A few of you who haven't tried this sort of setup regularly contact me to say, holy shit, does that actually work? Yeah, it does. When I bend over, if I have 3 to 4 full mags on the chest rig, I can feel just a little bit of Velcro separating around the sides, but it's not enough to actually dislodge the chest rig. Maybe if you I don't know, hopped up and down while leaning forward, maybe that would be enough to dislodge it, but during normal use, it's not going to be a problem at all. Also, you're not going to feel the chest rig bounce when you run. This was my other concern. The little dangly pouch that I like does the Spiritus sack. That kind of bounces around all over the place, but not the actual chest rig. I enjoy how well the elastic cummerbund fits. It gives you the ability to really lock the carrier down against your body without the whole thing being so tight that you can't breathe. Don't get me wrong, any elastic cummerbund's going to put pressure on your chest. It's literally squeezing you, but not too much. For long periods of time, a nylon cummerbund is more comfortable. If I'm going to wear this thing for hours, I don't really like the elastic at that point. It's easy to get it on and sized, and it's comfortable for a while, but if you're going to be wearing this thing for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, if you ask me, you need the solid cummerbund instead of this one. And, you can hang more stuff on a nylon cummerbund, but those cannot be sized as easily or as quickly, and they tend to be a lot more expensive. The only real downside to the elastic is that if you really use these pouches on the side, they're fine for a while, but they're going to dig into your side, and this thing is just going to squeeze you too much. The downside to the elastic, like I said, if you use these pouches on the side, they're fine for a little while, but eventually the magazines or whatever are going to start to dig into your tender little side. And, after 3 or 4 hours, it's just fatiguing to have that pressure from the elastic just bearing down on your body. Though the padding between you and the plates is minimal, I've noticed that it breathes really well. It's goddamn hot where I live, and the mesh and padding lets my body breathe, especially when there's a nice breeze. Few things are finer than a lovely breeze in South Carolina on a very hot day. The padding also keeps me from getting hot spots where the plates ride against my body. Some of that is the awesome contour of the tactical Scorpion Gear plates. Some of it's the padding. More padding would be nice, but it would make the carrier thicker and it would defeat the purpose of having such a small, lightweight carrier. The shoulder straps don't come with any padding. And though that was a problem for my arm, it won't be for you. These are actually very comfortable, assuming your arm isn't all fucked up. They work really well even without the padding. But you can purchase shoulder straps if you need them. I don't have them installed right now because the Ferro ones don't quite fit me. I have the straps size smaller than their pads. There's just not enough distance from here to here. Having no padding on the shoulders definitely keeps the carrier light, but these do cut into my shoulders after a few hours. For the first 2 or 3, though, I don't even notice. But as the day at the range wears on, it's really cutting in there. What would I change about the Slickster? I would probably size the shoulder pads differently so that they would fit on a wider range of strap sizings. I really need those pads for long range days, and those are sold separately anyway. This is what you're going to actually get with the carrier. No padding there. Also, I wish that Ferro had the option to buy the Slickster straight from the factory with their non-elastic cummerbund. This would make the Slickster less compact and less slick, I guess, but it would be a bit more comfortable for those longer days. I've learned that elastic cummerbunds just aren't the right option for me for hours and hours at a time, though they make the carrier initially easier to size and go in a hurry. I'd be willing to pay a bit more for a carrier with that option. Ferro is offering a less slick version of the Slickster coming soon, but it's very expensive, and at that point, most folks are probably going to look harder at the Cry JPC 2.0. We really need a Slickster that is sort of somewhere in between, less slick than the standard model, but less expensive than the new super tactical one. Right now, your only option for this sort of medium carrier is to buy the stock Slickster we have here and separately buy a new cummerbund and shoulder straps, and that almost doubles the price. But even at that price, still a great option and is probably the right option for many people. I also have to note that some folks have had issues with the shoulder straps failing. The way this Velcro works, there's not Velcro overlapping where the pressure of the weight of the carrier is kind of holding the Velcro together. Instead, it kind of affixes at the back here. I've had zero structural problems of any kind with my Slickster. I don't personally know anyone who has, but you'll find the reports on the internet. It's certainly worth mentioning. A lot of folks were saying that this was under pretty hard use, so take that into consideration. Still, I doubt you'll have any issues, and I recommend this thing without any reservations as long as you're doing reasonable shit with it. Final thoughts. I have immensely enjoyed the Ferro Slickster. Like all the Ferro products I've tried, the Slickster has excellent build quality and a ton of small features that make using the carrier a pleasure. The Slickster fits great, it feels great, and the price is right. AR-15s are everywhere. More and more civilians are considering a fine black rifle and a plate carrier to be essential components of their home defense plans. I'd have a hard time recommending anything else at this price point. Though I'm but a lowly civilian jackoff, the Slickster feels like a professional piece of gear, and from what I've heard, some professionals use them and love them. If you need an inexpensive plate carrier that will be comfortable and fun to use at the range, the Slickster is one of your best bets. I highly recommend it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I will talk to you soon. Good night.